us look at raga in the context of the textual tradition, what the textual tradition itself has to say of raga. Now, the Brihadeshi is an 8th century text, and perhaps the earliest definition of raga is found in this text. There are many verses in this text which talk explicitly of raga. One of them is this: Ranjanad jayate rago vyutpattihi samudahritah ityevam raga shabdasya vyutpattir abhidhiyate. Raga, Ranjanat jayate ragu. Ranjana is to color. So raga is born from the act of coloring the mind, actually, of bringing color into the minds of the listener, which is essentially means to suffuse it with color or with pleasure. So raga is born from the act of coloring or delighting. This has been said to be its etymology, and this is therefore spoken of as the etymology of the word raga. And there is this other very, very oft quoted, very famous verse: Yoyam dhvani visheshastu swara varna vibhushitah ranjako janachittanam ragav kathito mudhehi. That which is a special dhvani vishesha, and is bedecked, it's decorated with swara and varna, and delights the minds of people. Ranjako janachittanam, that is said to be raga. This is, as I said, from Brihadeshi, an 8th century text. Now, it seems that in the earlier texts, the concept of raga is not quite what it is today, which for us it is an abstract entity. Raga exists as a possibility of melodic creation, whereas possibly in the earlier texts, raga referred to a particular melodic entity itself. Today, of course, raga is, many people speak of it. S.K. Saxena, an important writer and thinker of the 20th century, he has suggested that we could view raga as a melodic matrix. It's a matrix, and any composition or any other improvisation of the raga partakes of that matrix, in the sense that is also the substance of that music. Others have suggested that we can think of raga as a melodic cloud, a cloud from which possibly melodies would rain. There is this interesting and fairly lucid description of raga by Deepak Raja, another important writer on music, and it reads like this: even a casual listener of classical music is aware that the word raga is used to describe the melodic facet of a piece of music. He also knows that a raga is not a precomposed melody. The same raga performed on different occasions can sound entirely different, while yet retaining a strong basis in familiarity. He also knows that there are hundreds, perhaps thousands of ragas in circulation, and that experienced listeners can distinguish one raga from others. From this, most listeners can infer that a raga is broadly a melodic structure, tight enough to remain distinct and identifiable, and yet loose enough to form the basis for considerable individual freedom.